Welcome back. In this video, you will learn about database migration. In the last lecture, you learned about database configuration, database settings, and database connection. Now, let's understand database migration. First, let's see its definition. Migration is a Laravel feature that helps you manage all BDL data definition language operations in an easy way, just like you do directly in a database. In Laravel, these DDL operations are performed using artisan commands. With migrations, you can create a database, create tables, modify tables, and manage columns by performing operations such as create, alter, and drop. The complete table and column structure is written using PHP code, making database management simple and organized. Now, let's understand it practically. We will start by creating a migration file, which is used to create tables and define table columns. In the VS Code editor, look at the left side of the Laravel project directory inside Database folder. See Migration Found inside the Migrations folder. Here, you can see the migration files. These files are created automatically when you install Laravel. However, you can also create a new migration file using an artisan command in the terminal and type PHP artisan. It will display a list of all available artisan commands. Scroll up, and under the Make section, you will find the command used to create a migration file. Before creating a new migration, first run the clear command to remove the previous terminal output. Now, write the command php artisan make migration. After the single colon, write migration. Then write the create keyword. The create keyword tells Laravel that this migration file is for creating a new table. After that, write an underscore. Then write the table name categories. The table name should always be in the plural form, not the singular form. Next, write another underscore and then write table. Finally, press Enter. The migration file is created successfully. Now, look at the left sidebar. A new migration file has been created with the name Create Categories table. Click on the migration file to open it. In the migration file, you can see that 3 classes are used. The first class is Migration, the second is Blueprint, and the third is Schema. Below these classes, you can see that the class starts with Return New Class extends migration. Here, the migration class is used as the parent class through class inheritance. When we create a migration file, Laravel automatically generates 3 classes with 2 functions. The first function is public function up, and the second function is public function down. Inside the up function, you can see the schema class calling the static create function. The create function uses 2 parameters. The first parameter is the table name, which is categories. The second parameter is a function. Inside that function, we pass an object of the Blueprint class named table. Inside this function, we define the table columns and their properties. You can already see that Laravel has added the ID column and the timestamps columns by default. The schema create function works like the create table query that we use in a database. The Blueprint class is used to define the table columns and their properties, such as integer, varchar, and other column types. When we run the artisan command to create a table, Laravel executes the up function of the migration file. Below the up function, you can see the down function. Inside this function, the schema class calls the static drop if exists method. The categories table name is passed as its parameter. The down function is used to drop the table whenever it is needed. You can also notice that Laravel does not create a separate migration class for the categories table. Instead, inside the up function, it uses the schema create function to create the table. Now, let's look at phpMyAdmin. In the last lecture, when we created the database, you saw that 9 tables were created automatically. If we come back to the VS Code editor and look at the migration files, you can see only 3 migration files. Click on the first migration file. Inside its subfunction, you can see that schema create is called 3 times to create the users, password reset tokens, and sessions tables. In the same way, inside the down function, you can see that schema drop if exists is also called 3 times to drop these 3 tables whenever they are no longer needed. Now, open the next migration file, which is the cache migration. Inside the up function, you can see that schema create is used 2 times to create the cache and cache locks tables. In the down function, you can see that schema drop if exists is also used 2 times to drop both tables whenever they are needed. Now, open the third migration file, which is the jobs migration. Inside the up function, you can see that schema create is used 3 times to create the jobs, job batches, and failed jobs tables. In the same way, inside the down function, schema :drop if exists is used 3 times to drop these tables. If you count them, these 3 migration files create a total of 8 tables in the database. The 9th table is the migrations table. This table is automatically created by Laravel. The migrations table keeps a record of migration files that create one table or multiple tables inside the database. You can see these 3 migration files inside the migrations folder. The same records are also available in the migrations table. In the database, we cannot easily tell which table can be created or not. The migrations table is automatically updated whenever a migration creates, alters, or drops a table. It also shows the execution status of each migration. Because of this, we do not need to open phpMyAdmin to check the migration status. We can check everything directly through an artisan command. Before running the command, notice that the tables for these 3 migration files have already been created, but the categories migration file has not been executed yet. Now let's verify this in the terminal. First, clear the terminal screen. Then type php artisan migrate :status and press enter. Here, the migration status shows 4 migration files in the same order as they appear inside the migrations folder. Notice that the first 3 migration files have the status ran, while the 4th migration file, categories, has the status pending. The migration files with the ran status should match the records in the migrations table in phpMyAdmin. Now, run php artisan migrate then migration up function execute, and you can see the message that the categories table has been created successfully. Now, go to phpMyAdmin and refresh the database. In the table list, you will now see the categories table. Then open the migrations table. You can see that the categories migration file has also been added because the categories table has been created. Also notice the batch numbers. The first 3 migration files have batch 1 because they were executed when the project was installed. The categories migration file has batch 2 because it was executed separately. Now let's check the migration status again in the terminal. Now first clear command use, then type php artisan migrate : then status. You can see that all migration files now have the status ran, and this matches the records in the migrations table in phpMyAdmin. Now let's see how to drop tables using migration commands. First, use the clear command to clean the terminal. Then type php artisan and press enter. A list of artisan commands will appear. Scroll up and find the migrate section. In the migrate section, you will see 6 migration commands. 4 of these commands are used for rolling back migrations. The first command is migrate with fresh. The second command is migrate with refresh. The third command is migrate with reset. The fourth command is migrate with rollback. Let's start with migrate rollback command. First, use the clear command again to clean the terminal. Now type php artisan migrate :rollback before running the command. Let's understand how it works. In phpMyAdmin, open the migrations table. Notice that the first 3 migration files have batch 1 because they were executed together during project installation. The categories migration file has batch 2 because it was executed separately. Now run the command. It will only drop the categories table because it belongs to the latest batch. Go back to phpMyAdmin and refresh the migrations table. You will see that the categories migration record has been removed because the latest migration batch has been rolled back. Now go back to VS Code and run the migrate command again. Before running the command, notice that the remaining 3 migration files all belong to batch 1. When you run the command this time, it will roll back all 3 tables because they are in the latest remaining batch. Now go to phpMyAdmin and refresh the migrations table. You will see that all migration records have been removed. Then refresh the database. You will notice that only the migrations table remains, and it is empty. Now run php artisan migrate. The 4 tables will be created again. Go back to phpMyAdmin and refresh the database. You will see all tables again. Then open the migrations table. You will see all 4 migration files, and this time they all belong to batch 1. Now run the migrate with rollback command again. This time, all the tables will be rolled back. Go to phpMyAdmin and refresh the database. You will see that all the tables have been dropped and only the migrations table remains. Now go back to VS Code and run php artisan migrate. The migration will run successfully. Then go to phpMyAdmin and refresh the database. You will see that all the tables have been created again. So, migrate with rollback works according to the batch number. It rolls back the tables that were created in a single migration batch, whether the batch contains one table or multiple tables. Now let's see another method to drop tables. Go to VS Code. First, create a new migration file. Type PHP artisan migration create tag table and press enter. This will create a new migration file. This migration file is temporary and is only used to understand the drop and alter table concepts. Now create the tags table by running the migration. Then go to PHP myadmin and refresh the database. You will see that the tag table has been created. Now let's apply another drop method. Go back to VS Code and type PHP artisan migrate reset before running the command. Notice the migrations table migrate with reset does not depend on the batch number. Now run the command. You will see that it rolls back all the migration tables. Now go to PHP myadmin and refresh the migrations table. You will see that all the migration records have been removed. Now let's apply migrate with fresh. First, go to VS Code. Use the clear command to clean the terminal. Then run PHP artisan migrate. This will create all the tables again. Before run migrate with fresh command, I tell you, in PHP migration table, after fresh command the column ID number will be start from 1. Now go to VS Code editor, using clear command to clear terminal. Then write the PHP artisan migrate fresh, and press enter. You will see that this command drops all the tables, and then creates them again in a single command. Now go to PHP myadmin and refresh the database. You will see that all the tables have been created again. Then open the migrations table. You will see all the migration files in the same sequence with batch 1. This time, the ID column also starts again from 1. Next, let's use migrate with refresh. This command is used to verify that our migrations can roll back and migrate properly. It is mostly used with seeders when generating and testing fake data. Now type PHP artisan migrate refresh and press enter. You can see that this command first rolls back all the migration files. Then, in the same command, it runs all the migrations again and recreates the tables. Now go to PHP myadmin and refresh the migrations table. You will see that all the migration files are available again. However, this time the ID column does not start from 1. Our drop methods with migration are now complete. The next topic is table alteration. You can see that I created a tag table. However, in Laravel, we usually use plural names for database tables. So, we will use the alter method to rename the tag table to tags. I could use migrate with rollback, but the problem is that it rolls back all the tables in the latest batch. To solve this, Laravel provides another method to alter an existing table. This method is mostly used when upgrading an existing database without losing data. For this, we need to create another migration file. First, use the clear command to clean the terminal. Then write PHP artisan make, followed by a colon, and then write migration. Here, we use the rename keyword instead of create because we are changing the table name. Now write an underscore, then tag, followed by another underscore. After that, write the keyword into, then another underscore. Next, write tags, followed by another underscore, and finally write table. Press enter. The migration file has been created successfully. Now open the migration file. You can see that it looks similar to the previous migration files. However, there are some differences. The up and down functions are empty, and we also do not need a blueprint class in this migration. Inside the up function, write the schema class, then call the rename function. You can also select the schema rename snippet from the suggestion list. In the rename function, the first parameter is the existing table name. So, write tag inside single quotes. In the second parameter, write the new table name, tags, inside single quotes. Now copy the same code and paste it into the down function. Here, make a small change for rollback. In the first parameter, write tags, and in the second parameter, write tag. Now run the PHP artisan migrate command to rename the table. Before running the command, notice that in PHP myadmin the table name is tag. Now run the command. Then go back to PHP myadmin and refresh the database. You see that the table name has changed from tag to tags. Also see inside migrations tables, the show rename tag table file, which is helpful to keep flow of table creation and their drop and alter methods. Now our migration table topic complete. In the next video we discuss about migration table columns. Thank you for watching video. If video is good, please like, subscribe, shares, and comments.